Welcome back to consecutive day 968 of the Diary of a Runpreneur. And today I want to talk to you about the difference between responsibility and blame. So please do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment, as the more people we get in front of, the more money we raise on my fundraising mission to save the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon. All the information about the challenge, how you can get involved, is in the link in the comments below. Thank you as always, and let's get started. So, consecutive day 968 of a Diary of a Runpreneur. It is 10 to 10 at night. It is excruciatingly cold again. It's about -4, I believe, at this moment in time. Very, very cold, but just had an absolute shocker of a day today. And as a result, this is the first point in the day that I've actually felt, bizarrely, remotely like getting out for a run. I've been mentally and emotionally drained. And that leads me on to today's topic about the difference between responsibility and blame. Now, had an absolute shocker of a day today. It's one of those days where something absolutely knocks you for six. And I'm not going to go into great detail about it, the actual event, but I'm going to talk about my overarching emotions and how I feel. And the reason for that is something very, very personal to me in my family that's happened today. And I've had a conversation with somebody, and it's about something pretty horrendous that happened in my life. And I sat down with this individual to map out the way to rebuild the relationship and to move forwards in a very positive frame of mind. And something happened, and this wasn't about pointing the finger or determining blame. Right? It wasn't about that. It was about looking at the overarching situation, feeding back from my side, and I was the victim side of this conversation. And I've been the one who'd pushed forward to have this discussion, to put things behind us and to move forward. And it was framed in that way. There was no looking at the history of the events, etc. I'm sorry for it being cryptic, but it's very raw. So please do respect my privacy on this matter. But it was about not focusing on blame. It wasn't about, making somebody sorry. It was about taking responsibility in the situation. And the responsible situation was to explain what happened post-event and the ramifications of that, a decision that had been made, and taking a responsible path forward. It wasn't about going back over the past and kind of scrutinising dissecting everything that happened and identifying who's to blame. It was taking the responsible approach forward. And there's a difference between blame and responsibility, because when anything happens in life, the first person I'm most likely to blame is myself. Okay, but I do that internally. I don't do that externally. I process how I process the situation. I then take responsibility for the situation, which is the pivot point for when you stop feeling sorry for yourself or feeling like you want to blame somebody else, and you take responsibility for the system, so the situation, and you map out your pathway to move forwards in a proactive, positive manner. And this situation today, I thought we'd accomplished that. I pre-framed the conversation, so it was definitely not blame orientated, and it was all about people taking responsibility and moving forwards. And this instance today, this person who I was having a conversing with, it was all going so well, and then towards the very end of the conversation, they pulled it back to a dissecting of the past, and they passed blame onto a party that wasn't involved in this conversation, and to a party who was the ultimate victim in everything that happened. this person was the last person who would be blamed in any situation. And at that point, I had to terminate this conversation because I felt our alignment no longer existed in finding that pathway forwards. And this is someone incredibly close to me. And I left it and just said, look, I don't want to get into an argument here, but that's a real curveball you've thrown at me here, and something that I categorically 1,000,000% disagree with. And I said it was really hard to keep emotionally in tune, and I left it and said, maybe we're just very, very different people, and maybe we don't want to move forward. But I said, the door is open if you change your opinion. If you don't change your opinion, I cannot associate myself with you, and I don't want to. I said it's something I'm so against in my beliefs, and it was a very sad ending to the discussion. So sorry, it's very cryptic, but it's very raw. I'm not going to be naming names on it. It's something incredibly personal to me, and but I suppose the question that I stated when I started this vlog, very, very raw, it's only happened today by the way, is the difference between blame and responsibility. And for me, this isn't a dictionary definition by any stretch. Blame is very much a hindsight. You know, the power of hindsight doesn't exist. Certainly, well, I'm aware of. If it did, blimey, I'd be a very, very wise man. The moral to today's story is that blame is past tense. It's something you can't change what's happened. So first and foremost, if you're going to blame anyone, blame yourself, because only you had the power to make a difference from your perspective. Okay, you can't control others. Okay, and responsibility is that pivot point in which you stop looking backwards and you start taking responsibility for the situation. It's the trigger that then makes you put a pathway into solving that issue and moving forwards in a productive, proactive fashion. That is my definition to this situation. Now, I know responsibility and blame will have alternative definitions, but the moral to the story is don't blame, take responsibility and move forwards. So that's it for me today. Hopefully some of you will be able to resonate with this emotionally, and any questions or comments, drop me a line. I will respond to every single one. But please do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. As the more people we get in front of, the more money we raise on my fundraising mission to save the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon. All the information about the challenge, how you can get involved, is in the link in the comments below. Thank you as always. Stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you again tomorrow.